Hi there. Now we have discussed operating matrices which are used, which need to be produced for the F&B department for overall, by venue, and by meal period as well. These operating statistics really help to understand the profitability of the venue of the F&B department as a whole and by each venue, so that you can really understand where the problem is, which venue is popular, which venue is not popular. There are certain other reports which are used to help understand these statistics. For example, menu engineering report for each venue, so that you can understand what actual menu is getting popular here or what menu is not popular here. Then you may also want to look at the capture ratios, comparing the venue total number of guests coming into the property, comparing it with the total number of guests staying in house of the property. So in the last table that we saw, we were covering the meal period with the number of customers in that particular meal period. You can see how many guests are staying in the hotel in that particular month, or compared with the previous month, so that you can see whether the capture ratio of the total number of guests in house, which is a ready market for the F&B outlet, is being consistently improving or consistently dropping or is remain the same. Then the other thing the hotels normally want to do is they want to split the total number of customers into the outside guest, which is mean coming from the outside sources, and what coming from the hotel, so that you can really understand if the hotel restaurant is dependent on only on the total guest in house, or is able to do some marketing to be able to attract the outside peoples into the restaurant. Because if you rely only on one source of income, then it may not be very sustainable. If the hotel is closed, then the restaurant is closed. But if you have outside guests, you may still have certain businesses, right? So that's the other part of statistics that you may want to add into the usually, depending on how you want to analyze the revenue of the hotel. So in our hotel we have been using this. If you wish, like, you can add those benefits as well, add those marketing reports as well. Now here in this video we are also going to discuss certain matrices to understand the F&B operations efficiency and profitability, which are prescribed by the AH and LA Council. So there are some of them. We're going to be discussing them and understanding how they are useful. So the first matrix, is you can see on the screen, is catering revenue per square feet of the function space. We have seen this already in our previous operating metrics, where we wanted to understand the banquet revenue per square feet of meeting space. So how you are going to calculate that? Total revenue divided by the square feet in the function space. So this helps to understand how effectively the sales staff is driving the revenue for the specialized space. And also you can compare with the other hotels, right? When if you are able to get the data from your competitors, you can also see how effectively they are using their function space and how effectively we are using our function space. Do we need to build more function space, or do we want to convert some of our function space into maybe an outlet, maybe into maybe we want to rent them out to maximize the revenue from the space that we have. Then you have F&B revenue per available seat, which we have also seen in our previous metrics, is calculated by total F&B venue revenue divided by the number of available seats in that particular restaurant. So here again, this is important metrics to be able to understand how many times a seat is being turned, how much revenue we are earning from the seat in the restaurant. Should we have more seats? Should we have less seats? Are we comparing? How do we fare against our competitors who may have a better turnover ratio on the available seats? Then you have F&B revenue per customer. This is per available customers in the hotel. So since we said that the number of peoples in the hotel is usually the captured market for the F&B restaurant. So we wanna, it's this matrix is will really help to understand how effectively we are able to capture that revenue based on year by year, and also the based on the other competitors, and within the venue. So if you are comparing one venue with the other revenue, so here you can see the analysis typically carried out by each meal period and for each venue separately, right? Then you have in-room dining per occupied room. Again, is the same logic, because the per occupied room is there, so you may want to compare the number of guests are there, so you may want to compare against the how much revenue we are able to capture per room sold. Then you have per available room. Sorry, in the previous here the formula is wrong. The per customer, here you will be not by room available, but by the per customer. So number of guests staying in the house, in the hotel, not by the, oh sorry, by the number of check, how many customers are being we are able to serve in that particular meal period, or by the venue, not by the room. This formula is for room available per meal per available room. Then you have the addition some revenue mix based on, we have already seen the revenue mix and average food check. We have seen average food check and average beverage check, total food revenue divided by the total number of customers. Average food check per meal period bar per revenue. This we saw in our template. Then you have food cost percentage, which is simple to calculate. Total cost of food sales divided by the total food revenue before the allowance. So here we don't include the allowance. We normally include only the selling price, purchasing cost, sales mix, but not the allowance. So here this measure will help us to understand if our food cost is in line with our potential cost or not. So potential cost usually will be the recipe cost based on the standard selling price, standard purchasing cost, and the sales mix, estimated sales mix. If this cost is nearly the potential food cost, then it's fine. If there is a difference, then the department, the heads or the cost controller will need to identify what is the reason. Then you have the cost per customer, not only the labor but also the other operating costs, for example chinaware, glassware, decoration, cleaning supplies. We may want to see how much is the cost per customer, so that we can understand are we spending too much or too less based on the scale of the business. So these are all the then we have already discussed the catering banquet room revenue per room night sold, per meeting space. We have already discussed that in our previous table. So these are the formulas which I will be attaching to the lecture, so you can make a reference to these while you are calculating your tables.